Well, my name's Matt Pamplin and I'm the pastor at Clair Community Church, which is a church in downtown Hamilton. Well, we've been there for about 10 years at this point, but we just fell in love with our neighbourhood, and so we were commuting into church 20 minutes away, but starting to get to know our neighbours and what was going on in that neighbourhood. And so we just started praying within the neighbourhood with a group of friends who just cared deeply about the place in which we lived. After about a year and a half of praying, we realised there was something more than just like a prayer meeting. We were involved with our local elementary school. We ran community meals in the neighbourhood. We got to know our local politician, and we took a lot of time to really get to know who the people were and what made them tick and what were on their heart for what they cared about. I think we can come up with lots of good strategies and plans and ideas, but actually through praying, we felt we heard God speak to us about the ways we should respond to our neighbourhood. So everything we did started with prayer, and then actually spending a bunch of time just listening to people and talking to them. For too long, churches have made people feel guilty. So they've said, here's all the things you should be doing, and so people feel really guilty. So maybe they change their behaviour for one day. That's how I function, you know. So rather than thinking we have to add an extra evening a week doing all these things, we kind of asked, where are you already in your neighbourhood? What are the things you're involved in? And maybe in those places, having eyes to see. And so if you're involved in a sports team, if you're involved in things in your school, if you're involved in small business, if you have hobbies or activities outside, rather than asking, how do we now add extra church activities on top of all of those? I think it was asking, where is God at work in and around me in those places? The next generation of young people are looking for those who are actually going to live out the way of Jesus, not just talk about it. I've said for a while, I think we've got good rhetoric, but maybe if we actually practice this thing, it would cause people to sit up. And that's what I think people are hungry for, but that always involves risk. We need to be good cultural anthropologists and good theologians. I think they both go together. Because I think at times we've not done a good job of listening, and then we're frustrated when no one wants to listen. But I think at times we're responding to questions that nobody is asking. Following Jesus and surrendering all of our lives to Jesus is radical in today's culture, because I think we want to hedge our bets. It's actually the simple things that eventually over time lead into bigger things. So I think radical for me is just what's the next step to take in following Jesus. So I think we just need to be thinking ahead to the future, and then to think through, how do we encourage those people who have a heart for it? If we don't address this, the question is, in a conference 20 years time, where will we be?